Hey everybody, I'm back as promised. Just bringing you another haunt review. Had the privilege of going out to another haunt in Oklahoma. It's a little bit of a drive for me. It's about an hour and 45 minutes from Newcastle. It's where I live, Newcastle, Oklahoma. And it's about an hour and 45 minutes away, but had the privilege of going out and visiting Hex House in Tulsa. Um, well worth the drive, well worth the money. It was from start to finish, it was a lot of fun. The way they have it set up, we're just going to go through the whole scenario starting from the minute you pull up to when you get to Hex House, when you get inside. When you pull up, it's like a business parking lot area, and it's in the corner. They've got signs, they've got strobing lights, and you can hear some faint music in the background. Well, that's the awesome DJ they had set up at the entrance when you're getting closer to going in. It's for entertainment too, because the music was loud and it was really cool. It was very kind of eerie, spooky. It really set the mood and the tone. When you pull up, of course, you can buy your tickets up front. I would suggest buying them online and also buying a speed pass. We'll talk about that in a second. But pulled up, got our temperatures taken at the front before we go in, and the line was long. I mean, it's for a reason. That line is long for a reason. That is an awesome haunted attraction. It's not because it's the only one around there. That's not it. It's because they have really fine tuned their craft over there, and they have done an amazing job with the haunt. Some of the actors have been there since they opened. So these people have really had a chance to hone in their characters, even if they move them a little bit. They're comfortable with the people they work with. They're comfortable with the space, and they're comfortable just getting inside your head. They're living there rent free the whole time here in the haunt. But getting into the haunt, like I said, you wait in the line. They've got people that stalk the lines, guys that are kind of climbing the barred cages that they have surrounding going into the haunt. They've got the DJ out there. I would guess there was probably maybe 200-ish people in line waiting, maybe more. We bought the speed pass. And so we finally get up, you kind of mosey through the line, you get there, and the DJ's playing this all sorts of cool music, and it was a lot of fun. There was lights, there was music, there were people, like I said, stalking the lines, and just kind of keeping you entertained while you're waiting, so you don't mind waiting so much. But we get to the front of the line, of course, they scan your tickets, and they let you in. It was me, my youngest daughter, and my adopted daughter's technically our foreign exchange student, but either way. We get into the haunt, and I'm telling you what, like, you are being engaged almost every step of the way. I've been to some haunts where there's some dead space here and there, where it kind of gets a little quiet. Uh, you're being engaged most of the time. You make it around a corner barely, you're being engaged. You're leaving around that corner, you're being engaged. Sometimes by the same people, sometimes by different people. It was just they did a good job. They come out of places you wouldn't expect. The makeup was pretty awesome. You could tell those people too have been there for a while because they really own that space. And when I say own that space, I mean they've got like a 10-20 foot radius that they're working with, and like I said, they do really well with it because they make sure to get in your face as close as they can. Well, they don't touch you, but they get in your face as close as they can, and they just, I don't know, just how they approach you, the way they stalk you, and the sounds and everything, the animatronics they've got going on throughout there. They put in a lot of work. I would say that this is probably one of the haunts I've been to that has the most music, lighting, animatronics. Very cool, not even distracting. It just really just intensifies some of that haunt. There's three separate areas through the haunt, so there's three separate stages. I think that's how you'd say it. Something cool they've really done is they added like little checkpoints between the stages. Now what that does is, for one, it does let you know, hey, you're going to the new area, but really that breaks up some of those groups. When they have those checkpoints, which is an awesome idea. They stop you, and of course they space you out because, like I mentioned in previous videos, getting into haunts and catching up to a group or being slow and falling behind usually isn't a problem here because of those checkpoints. They're put in place, probably for multiple reasons, but one thing I can pick up on is that, like I said, they definitely did a good job of spacing you out so you get a chance to really enjoy the haunt. I'll tell you, there's a couple things in there that got me. You get so focused on the animatronics and how cool they are, sometimes you forget that maybe that's not an animatronic. Maybe it's there just for somebody to distract you to get the drop on you. Maybe it's a real person. You don't know, and that's what adds to the ambiguity in this haunt because there's just so much going on. It's like there's a couple rooms. I won't tell you what happens or who's in there, what's going on. I will just tell you I got two words for you: sensory overload. that's, I think, the idea and the theme for a lot of this haunt. It's a sensory overload. There's so much going on. There's stuff over here, stuff over there. There's music. There's just, and you're being engaged by so many actors. It's almost just, like I said, it's just sensory overload. You almost get locked up for a second thinking you forget where you're supposed to be going. Like the exit's over there, but in your head, you're just froze for a second because there's so much. And I think that's part of the fun. The actors are extremely intense. They beyond the lighting and the music and the crevices they can pop out of, the actors are stupid intense. And when I say stupid intense, I mean they're, like I said, they own the space, and they do it really well. So making your way through this haunt, it's pretty long. It took us 30 minutes, maybe 20 to 30 minutes different time. We actually went through twice. We'll talk about that. But it was, like I said, engaging the whole way. There's not much dead space in this haunt. There's not like where you walk down a long hallway and nothing happens. There's just not somebody stalking you or something that seems not right. No, there's always something that's gonna put you on edge a little bit. Always somebody, always some scene, always some animatronic. It's a lot of fun. Like I could say that a couple times they got me pretty good with a few of the scenes they had set up, just because you just did not expect it. But when it happened, of course, it wasn't like it startled you a little bit. It got you pretty good because of just how intense they are, and they don't let up. They do not let up at all. So if you have heart conditions, I have a disclaimer saying all these things, but really, if you have heart conditions or any type of anxiety disorders or phobias, you might reconsider going, because these people hit you hard. They hit you really hard with it. I mean, for the people that are seeking an awesome haunt, that's where you go. But if you, like I said, in those heart conditions, you might back off on this one. It's like I said, this really intense haunt. So sorry, back to the story. We're making our way through the haunt, engaged the whole way. Checkpoints that kind of space people out. It was done. It was very well crafted. I mean, it was timed very well. And here's the thing. I think that maybe some haunts could do a lot better if they had one key element's timing. And I think that's something they did really well at Hex House, as timing. The minute you come around a corner, it's like they're not going to get you right when you come around the corner. They're not going to get you maybe halfway. They've perfected it enough. They know the best possible time to get you. And that's what they have working on their side. They've got veteran actors that have impeccable timing, and it really shows. So beyond the costumes, the makeup, the intensity, the sensory overload, the amount of lighting, the music, the animatronics, all this is just... it's a lot of fun. I promise you it would be money well spent if you had checked it out, because it was, bar none, it was awesome. It was so awesome that when I came out and talked to Gene, who's one of the owners, and he's like, well, you want to go again? Yeah, we'll go again. I'm not going to say no. So we went again. And I'll tell you this, the second time was actually even better than the first time, because not everything stays the same. These actors have crafted it so well, and they use their space so well that they don't supposed to have one corner they always hide in, or one way they get inside your head. There's not just that. Stuff changes. It's always cycling. Like they go, I don't know how many different ways these people go about getting inside your head, but I will say the second time was better than the first, because stuff changed. You're like, oh, there's a guy around this corner and this is going to drop down. This is going to, no, different. Different, which was really pleasantly, it was surprised me very well, because usually you're kind of used to the same old, okay, and it is not the same effect, but the second time was better. So go once, go twice, because it won't be the same. I promise you that. Looking forward to going out there again next year. Just to kind of see what changes. COVID has done a lot of stuff with the haunts and everything else, but most haunts have adapted really well, and Hex House is one of them. They've adapted very well to all the stuff that's going on, and I don't think it really hurt their haunt at all. There's a lot of people it hasn't hurt them. It definitely hasn't hurt Hex House, because I still had a great time. I had a great time. My kids had a great time, and it was just a awesome experience. I would love for it to be closer than an hour and 45 minutes away, but next year I'm going to drive back. It doesn't matter. That's not a very long distance to cover to go to a really exceptional haunt, and that's what they do at Hex House. Is they blow you away. It was a lot of fun. So money well spent, time well spent, and you get to visit some of the sights and scenes in Tulsa. I mean, just make a day of it and then go have some fun, because like I said, you're not going to regret it. But overall, awesome job, well done. I really can't think of anything else to say negative about them. You know, they've got 80 plus actors inside that building, and it's not really small. It's a lot of space. And they actually said they cut down on some of the actors, but it still felt like I was always engaged. I was never found in a dead spot where I was waiting and, is somebody coming? Oh, and get disappointed because there's nobody there. No, there was always somebody right on you, right in front of you, behind you, on the side of you, coming from the ceiling, coming from the walls, coming from just chaos. That's all I can say is chaos, but I'll go back. So, without further ado, really, I'll wrap it up and just say that it's getting close to the end of the haunt season. You should definitely go. You should go check them out because it's just an awesome sensory overload that some of you might want to forget, some of you might not want to forget it, but either way, you will be taken back a little bit by some of the stuff they have to offer. They do a great job. So, well done, guys. I had a great time. Thank you very much for inviting me out and allowing us to come check out your haunt. And I look forward to seeing Hex House and what they have to offer again in 2021. So, that being said, I'm out.